Hello Internet, I am the hero of Julios, once again with another One Piece chapter summary. And strap yourselves in because this is going to be a long chapter, not in terms of page count, because it's about the same as always, but just a lot of different things are happening, and it's causing a lot of different... There's one concerning factor, and I'll get to that near the end of it, but without further ado, let us start into chapter 1052, A New Morning. The artwork for this chapter depicts Caesar Clown observing the Germa Double Six as they are leaving Big Mom's laboratory or whatever book. So the book was the thing that was storing Ichiji, or not Ichiji, Niji and Yonji. So that's what got burned, but so did the rest of the lab. So I think it was a lab, and it was the book that was storing them. It was not a lab inside of a book. But whatever the reason, as they're leaving that burning building, Caesar is looking over at them, and Reiju happens to notice him. So, if you think about it, this is happening during the Wano arc, because usually that's how these things go down. It's the chapter summaries, sort of, or not chapter summaries, the chapter cover stories happen during whatever arc we're currently in, kind of, like a pseudo... Like, look at Django's Dance Paradise, how all that happened during the Alabasta and, like, Little Garden arcs and stuff, and then he was a Marine by the time we saw him again in the main manga. Anyways, if Caesar teams up with Germa Double Six for safety, and he is now with Judge again, and Queen needs a new place to stay now that Kaido's been taken out, there is a strong chance that they might be getting the band back together. I mean, think about it. We still haven't met Vegapunk yet. Heck, that might even be how we meet Vegapunk. The other scientists from Mads may have gotten together. They're going to go save Vegapunk or kidnap him, depending on how he feels about the Marines. Bring him with them to Mads and then somehow wind up meeting the Straw Hat Pirates. Or maybe we'll just get like a side arc, like a meanwhile during whatever's going on with Luffy, this is happening over here. Whatever the reason, I think Judge might end up getting the band back together. So I'm looking forward to seeing if this plays a bigger role in the story or if it's just some side thing that happens under our noses. So the chapter at large starts with the Five Elders talking about how Nika has descended upon the world finally. So the way that this is worded sort of implies that this is the first time Nika's been awakened, but we know that Zunisha has called Joy Boy by name before, but Zunisha called Luffy Joy Boy when the Devil Fruit awakened, which would imply that Joy Boy is the title of the person. I feel like we just need like one Joy Boy flashback to explain everything, but the way it sounds is it's the first time this particular Gorosei have heard of Joy Boy descending. So I don't know if this implies explicitly that they are not immortal, that maybe being the Five Elders is just a title that's passed down. If they are immortal, then why are they talking like this is the first time Nika has happened? Whatever the reason, Nika's back, and they are currently discussing how this is a problem. Not to mention, 2 Emperors of the Sea have fallen, and it's not going to take very long before the news hits the press about this. Their final response, though, is to the person on the other end, CP0, who is talking to them. The last living member of CP0, who didn't die to Izo or by clubbing to death with Kaido. This guy has only one job, and they told him, "So, you're going to catch Nico Robin for us without fail, right?" And he said, "Without fail, boss. We got this." And you can even see a bit of sweat coming off him because he's like, "You want me to go back in there? You want me to go in there and look for her again? Do you know how many samurai are in there? Whatever. Fine. I don't have free will anyways, apparently, because that's what CP0 is about. I just have a mask. I don't even have a name. My name is Carl. But you don't care. Fine. I'm gonna go catch Nico Robin." But as Carl is telling them that he's going to catch Nico Robin, there is an interception on the line. And you would think that this would be a very secure line, given that it's from CP0 to the Gorosei. You would think that this would be like 8 white transponder snails attached to it so that they can all stop the wiretapping, but whoever did it tapped right into it. and said, "Hey, CP0, I am heading to your location right now. Don't wait up." We find out who that is in this chapter, so that's kind of nice. This chapter doesn't create more questions than answers. It just sort of evens itself out. But after the call gets jammed, we cut to one last conversation. It is between Drake and Hawkins, who are still inside of Onigishima. Drake is on the ground, super tired, a little bloody. I mean, he did take a couple good hits from CP0. And Hawkins, currently blood losing from his arm, or lack of arm, he leans up against the wall and he goes, "Hey, Drake, are you a Marine?" And Drake's laying there and he goes, I don't have to answer that. I plead the fifth. I'm a pirate or a Marine, whatever keeps me alive right now. So what are you going to do? Hawkins says, "Well, I can't really come crawling back to Kid since I'm the one that betrayed them, and, even if I had seen the future where Drake, or if I even had seen the future where Kid defeated Kaido or Big Mom or whoever, right now I'm in no position to turn around and ask for his forgiveness." Drake goes, "So, I guess that means the person who had a 1% chance to die." Hawkins goes, "Yep, I was talking about me." And then we just sort of see him flump over. So, yeah, I think Hawkins died. I mean, Drake's probably not dead, because we got to learn more about Sword, but I think Hawkins died. I think that's the first supernova to die. Yeah, I think so. So, one down. Who knows how many other ones? I don't think Hawkins got enough screen time for me to be like, "No, not Hawkins, he was my favorite." But it's nice to see Oda pulling the trigger on death. Oda doesn't usually kill off a lot of characters, especially main named ones like Hawkins. So, yeah, Hawkins is dead. I don't really have anything else to say on that matter. Just Drake is still there in Onigishima. Who knows what's going to become of that? We know he's connected to Sword, but I still don't know if Sword is connected to the world government, or if it's just like a Marine splinter cell. CP0 seems to know that Drake knew that CP0 knew about Drake being in Sword, maybe? But whatever happens there, we don't find out more about in this chapter. And that is the last of what happens in the final night of Onigashima. Because after this, we cut to 7 days later in the flower capital. People are still happy. People are still joyous. They're drinking water. They're having food. They're talking about not taking down the festival decorations because the new shogun has said there will be another festival soon. Apparently, we find out that it's because he was waiting for Luffy and Zoro to wake up. Who they will, but I'll get to that in a moment. First, we're going to talk about history correction. There's the teacher way at the start of Wano who she had a smile fruit that gave her a snake neck. Either that or she was a snake neck tribe member. Well, it kind of stretched out, so I'm guessing she had a smile fruit. Whatever the reason, she was teaching the kids how Odin was an evil, nasty man, and how Kurozumi Orochi saved everyone, but no. We're going to have to fix that history, and starting from brand new, starting over, we're going to teach you kids about the wonderful Kozuki Odin. So, yeah, that sucks when countries, revise their history to make it look like the bad guy's the good guy, but in the case of Wano, we're finally going to teach the kids the correct history and teach them what actually happened. Hopefully this doesn't repeat again, and we don't get some evil guy teaming up with a monster pirate dragon and take over the entire island. That's tomorrow's problem. We then cut to Kawamatsu and Kinemon, who are sitting at the shrine to the sword god Ryuma, and they're talking about how they're going to build a shrine to Odin, a big temple overlooking the flower capital where Odin's dead body can be surrounded by those who helped to protect Wano, such as Yasuie and Izo and Ashura. So going back to what I was saying about Hawkins, Oda pulled the trigger. Yeah, a couple characters actually died in this war. I mean, it wasn't like a Straw Hat died, but named important characters. I mean, we saw Izo all the way back in the Battle of the Summit, with Whitebeard and all the other commanders. He fought to protect Ace, or protect Luffy and try to save Ace, just like anyone else. So the fact that he died and that Ashura actually died in that explosion, which I'm gonna level with you. If I was gonna pick a member of the Scabbards to die, Ashura in that explosion isn't really the one I was thinking. I was thinking Kinemon with the big stab, but I understand because, Kinemon had to protect, Momonosuke, and he has to be around to help Momonosuke grow into the shogun he needs to be. He was kind of the leader, so he kind of had like a little bit of plot armor. My second choice would have been Kiku, considering the amount she's gone through, but yeah, no, Ashura and Izo, they actually died protecting Wano. So their weapons will be laid to rest, as will their bodies alongside their master Odin. We then cut to the castle in the Flower Capital, where Yamato has been sitting on the roof for a while, complaining about her stomach, how she's hungry, well, definitely not hungry, only to have this thought interrupted by Hiyori calling out to her and Momonosuke, letting them know that Luffy and Zoro have finally recovered. We then see, Yamato runs up to Luffy and gives him a big old hug, and Chopper is hugging Zoro as the two of them call out for meat and booze, respectively. And then Momonosuke walks in. He says, "Hey, I'm really glad you guys are back to normal," and the two of them just look at him. It just takes them a bit to be convinced that this man standing before them is Momonosuke. To which Luffy and Zoro go, "Wow, you look so much like Odin." And Zoro goes, "Oh, hey, yeah, you're probably a lot stronger now." And Luffy goes, "I wonder if you could take a punch." Momonosuke tries to hide away from them. He goes up to Nami like he did when he was in his little 8-year-old body. And he goes, "Oh, Nami, they're being so mean to me." And then Nami punches him because he's a full-grown man. So he doesn't get to do that anymore. You even see Sanji and Brook making fun of him for that. That, no, you don't get to do that anymore because now it's creepy. You can't do it as a little pervy 8-year-old anymore. So that's a loss, a great loss today for little Momonosuke. Oh well, he's just going to have to learn to be a man. As Luffy and Zoro are waking up, they're eating, they're drinking, Nami mentions to Yamato that they should all head to the bathhouse together because now Yamato's prayer is over. For the last 7 days, Yamato has been fasting and refusing to bathe until Luffy and Zoro woke up. As Luffy's thanking Yamato for her prayers bringing him back to life, Zoro notices that, speaking of bathing, he and Luffy aren't actually that dirty. See, as explained to Zoro, a certain someone decided to take it upon themselves to make sure Luffy and Zoro were clean. That person being Hiyori. So, anyone out there who ships Zoro and Hiyori, congratulations. Hiyori has sponge bathed Zoro, so good for her. This infuriates Sanji, who tells Zoro, "Hey, you and I need to have a talk." Zoro completely hears Sanji, like every word. "We need to have a talk." And Zoro remembers the last thing Sanji said to him. "If we make it out of this alive, and I'm different, I need you to kill me." So Zoro gets up, pulls out his swords, and goes, "Okay, that reminds me. I've come back from the depths of hell to kill you." So he and Sanji start going at it like they usually do, as Yamato and Nami explain like the prayer that Yamato was doing, and Luffy's thanking her, and they all go to the bathhouse together. So that's pretty fun. We get this nice wide shot of the men's bath and the women's bath. You got all the guys together. Yamato's in there with them because, she's Kazuki Odin. You got everyone in the women's bath together, and I did some looking around and something concerned me. So I went through the rest of the chapter, and I went through the rest of the chapter in the other direction, and that's when I realized something very important. Robin's not in this chapter. I'll get to that in a minute. We do see that Frankie and Usopp are not in the bath scene either. That's because the two of them have been working with all the shipwrights in Wano to repair all the pirate ships. We got the Thousand Sunnies back up and running, sails are repaired, whatnot. Kid's ship is in ship shape. Even Law's ship has been brought up onto a dry dock so that the submarine can be repaired. Frankie is familiar with submarines. We got the Shark Submerged from the Thousand Sunny. So that's where the two of them have been. So all the ships are fine. In addition to the ships being repaired, the General Frankie has been repaired from his big battle with Sasaki, and you even see Beppo and Killer and a few members of Kid and Law's crews gawking over how awesome the giant robot is, because obviously a giant robot is very cool, and neither crew has really gotten to see the General Frankie before. But what's even more awesome than the General Frankie is Law and Kid get visited by an old friend. Scratchman Apu shows up with one of the numbers, and he tells them, hey, I'm not here to fight. I want to give you guys this newspaper. And he throws it to the ground in front of them, and he goes, take a look inside, kid, because we got bounty updates and updates on who is now being called the Emperors of the Sea. And that's all we get. So knowing that after our next chapter, Oda is going on vacation, I really hope the next chapter updates everyone's bounties. Otherwise, the entire community is going to be speculating for an entire month straight about who has what bounties and what they look like and who's the new emperors. My guess is if they're going to stick to 4 emperors, because I know Morgans did that whole, 5th Emperor of the Sea, Luffy, but I think that was mostly just to sell papers. I think if they're going to go with 4 Emperors of the Sea, it's going to be Blackbeard, it's going to be Shanks, obviously, it's going to be Kid, and it's going to be Law. And the reason I say that is because I think in order to sell papers, in order to make the biggest big news he can, Morgans is going to declare Luffy the next Pirate King. He's going to skip the whole Emperor thing. These are the 4 Emperors. Luffy is going to be the next Pirate King. Morgans doesn't even believe it himself, really, but it's going to sell papers. It's going to infuriate Kid. It's going to make Law a little perturbed, but it's going to spark that major rivalry between Luffy and Kid, because even though Kid finally took down an emperor and finally gets to be called an Emperor of the Sea and the most powerful pirate, Kid's dream is to be the king of the pirates. Because even though Kid finally gets to be called an Emperor of the Sea, Kid's real goal is to be the king of the pirates. So to have someone else declared the next Pirate King is going to infuriate him. And maybe even set a target on Luffy's back. Like, hey, we had this little thing going on. I don't even want to call it an alliance. I'm leaving Wano. But the next time we meet, I'm sinking your ship and everyone on it because you are officially being declared the Pirate King and you haven't even found the dang One Piece yet. So I think Kid's going to hate Luffy. I think Kid is going to go after Luffy. They might form some kind of reluctant friendship afterwards, but yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. Luffy is going to not be declared an emperor, but the next Pirate King. The final part of the chapter is Sakazuki on the phone with a certain someone, asking him, hey, where are you? And this person responds with, oh, that's easy, I'm in the sky. And Sakazuki says, yeah, but where in the sky? And he goes, oh, well, I can see Wano from here, as he's petering on forward, floating there. And Sakazuki tells him, you better not cause any trouble, Ryo Kuju. And I apologize if I pronounced that wrong. It's the Green Bull. It's the other admiral, the one we haven't seen yet. He is flying towards Wano, and he has a flower growing out of his back. So Robin is the one who ate the flower fruit. However, this guy may have just eaten the plant fruit, or the blossom fruit, maybe even the grow fruit, whatever you want to call it. He ate a devil fruit that allows him to summon a plant. Whether it's, summoning plants off himself specifically, or if he can summon them anywhere is still left to be determined. But we do know that he is a devil fruit user, and he is capable of flight, which is pretty nice. He's also a Navy admiral, and he is heading straight towards Wano. I'm picking up very strong Thriller Bark vibes here. If anyone remembers, after Gecko Moria was defeated and everybody was celebrating, everybody was partying, Kuma showed up and said, "Hey, yeah, I know you just beat a warlord, but hi, I've come to take Luffy's head." Now, obviously, Green Bull is not coming right after the fight. He's showing up 7 days later where the whole crew is recovered. But this might be to show us just how strong he is. If he shows up and he's capable of taking on the Straw Hat crew after they've all worked together to defeat Kaido, this might show us just how powerful the emperors were in comparison to the Marine admirals. I know everyone likes to use that joke where, you see a Kainu standing there scared and Whitebeard is like right behind him, but that's not how it went down in the manga. In the manga, Whitebeard attacked Sakazuki from behind. He, walloped him and he hit him when he wasn't looking. It was a surprise attack. And Akainu got up. I mean, there's barely any scarring on this guy from his battle against Whitebeard. He's still alive and kicking and perfectly strong. So if he's not here for a specific task, if he's here, if he's just here to observe, if he's just here to be annoying, we might get some lore drops. If he is here to fight, I don't think this is going to be some quick little skirmish. I don't think the fighting is over in Wano. Now, the most important, the most pressing, the most powerful question in this entire chapter that was brought up: where is Robin? I looked through every page possible, and yes, I know I was joking about, noticing in the bathhouse scene or whatever. Haha, it's funny. But in all seriousness, where is Robin? Robin is not in any panel in this chapter, and Oda made an effort to show every member of the crew saying or doing something. We had Nami talking to Yamato, Sanji and Brooke perving in the bathroom. You had Chopper recovering Zoro, Frankie and Usopp are accounted for, they're fixing the ships, and obviously Luffy and Zoro are the ones who awoke. We got Jinbei also there explaining what the prayer was. So we had every Straw Hat member accounted for and, doing something. Robin's gone. And we had 7 days ago the one member of CP0 saying that he was going to catch her without fail. I really hope that this was just like a slip up. No, it's Oda. Oda would never pass up an opportunity to put Robin in the bathhouse scene. Something is wrong. And I really hope next week's chapter at least gives us a hint, at least shows us where she is, because if it doesn't, Oda's going on vacation for a month. So, I look forward to the next chapter because we got questions, and those questions need answers. Thank you for watching as always. I will see you in the next video. This is the Hero of Julios, Xing out.